All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 2nd of March, Tuesday evening of 2021. My name is Kevin Hurley, and welcome to the Trade Findings and Adjustments. Today, I want to go over a portfolio review again, but I want to set some expectations and set the stage from what I'm seeing and what I expect in the next 2 to 4 weeks. Some of you have already heard this. If I was to ask you, please feel free to type in, what is your expectation in the next 2 to 4 weeks? Because there's some significant events that I feel will occur within that time frame. And because they're going to occur, they're going to affect the trades I want to put on, how quickly I want to get in and out of them, and how I'm going to look at the portfolio as a whole. So we have a couple of, one said sideways to down, two actually said up big. So it's interesting. I bet we'll have someone that'll say down big. But for the next 2 to 4 weeks, we have an event, right? We have the stimulus effect. And some people, in fact, it was actually just Kiev. Kiev most recently said, hey, if we're going to give a bunch of crap out to foreign countries, how is the stimulus going to help us? And I kind of giggled because, in all honesty, that's, I think, a lot of people's way of thinking that are in the industry right now. But last time we know 268 billion went to families for what, a $600 payment, right? And then there was another 400 billion that was set aside for loans. And then, of course, there was what, 300 billion or 400 billion or so that was set aside for other countries and other crap that we didn't need. But if 268 billion was set aside for loans, for businesses, and I forget what the number was for just stimulus checks, we got a pop. We got a movement up. We had a positive net effect to our economy. And I believe it was only $600 for those checks. If I'm wrong, someone please correct me and type it in. But if we have a stimulus effect that's, $1,400 and $1,200 for children, it seems like we're going to get a bigger boost in the near future. And that boost comes down to GDP spending. Now, a lot of people might just pay off credit cards and they'll go charge them up again. I get it. I see it. But the fact of the matter is, we're expecting a boost in the near future. Looking at that and looking at expectations here, I'm going to think about portfolios. My caller portfolio, I will be looking to raise or start long puts at the money at the first sign of a drop, meaning probably a couple of weeks after the stimulus bill has been passed, and that's not true. After the stimulus checks have hit. My brother got it. Man, he spent the whole kit and caboodle right out the door. It was unbelievable. Got it, spent it. It actually hit his bank account, and he spent it all within a week. Now, some of that were some things he wanted for his backyard, and some of it was paying off a little bit of debt that he just charged up again. But boom, it was instantaneous. So for my caller position, right now, I am trying to stay in stock positions only without protection, expecting a bounce higher. Now, for those of you that are attending this, you're looking more at trades. So for trades. January 2022, leap call stock replacement strategies. I'm looking for the same bounce, but planning on exiting those trades within the next 4 weeks. I'm not going to run them through tax selling for this year. I think our tax selling season will be steeper than most. I mean, most people will sell their, let's face it, most people are going to sell their tax and pay taxes this year because next year it's planning on being higher. Things aren't reopening like they should if we're going to have a vaccine for every person in the United States in May. Well, damn it, get us moving, get us opened. I'm not sure if the opening is going to help, nor will it occur on the time frame that I think is being reported right now. If we have enough vaccinations, will they all be administered? I'm not sure. And yes, Bill, I got no stimulus checks either. So I'm looking for the sugar rush. Let's face it. I'm looking for the sugar rush. I'm looking for it to hit. I'm looking for it to come quickly, which means for my trading account, the one I'm a little more aggressive in, I'm not collar trading, I'm up $1. I have not made any real money as of yet. With that said, I got to dollar cost average my Apple calls. When Apple is down around $6 for the January 22 150s, I got to dollar cost average and lower my cost basis from 18 down to 12. Boeing, I've got a Boeing call that I put on not too long ago that I'm excited for, but Boeing is a January 23. If you are looking for a trade to be in, a January 23 for $4,600, I guess it'd be $4,687.50. That's where I would be looking to put some new money. Something that was trading up at 380, 400 a year or two ago before they got shut down for a year. Read as I post. I should post Monday's chat sometime tonight. Go through and read through that article I have on the back orders for Boeing. This would be the trade. A Baidu vertical. I still like way out in time Baidu. A 23, so I can keep this one on. $22.50 right now, $2,250 to try to make 10 grand. No brainer. Disney. I'm looking for that Disney pop, but it's also January 23. I can let this one go. January 22s, I typically want to take off. General Electric. Still waiting on this one for that 100% return. 50% return, excuse me. There's a 250. I can possibly make $7 on a $2 investment. So I guess that's 550. Yeah, I've got like a 250% possible return on this. But I'm probably going to take this off after the stimulus bounce. It's January 22. It's not out far enough to be, it's not out far enough to weather the storms we have coming up. It's going to be a sugar high bounce. It's time to book a profit. Under Armour, I've got March 21st, $25 calls. There's no doubt that I might get my stock called away from me at $25. I think I'm okay with booking a nice profit on Under Armour. What I paid 23 for, I could sell at 25 and keep a 75-cent credit. It's a 15% return. I'd be in good shape. Visa already has that order I worked on last week. I'm looking to double up on my money on Visa, get out of this at a $30 profit, which means Visa has to be up at $2.30. Already up $7 on it as we speak. Visa, I'm going to take off the table. It's a March 22. Anywhere where I've got things that don't go out to 2023, I'm looking at booking these profits so that it doesn't take the risk in a drop. It's simple, it's easy. If you're going to do a trade, I would follow behind on Boeing. Boeing at $46.87.5. It's a $5,000 trade that you should expect 100% return in. Baidu, $22.50 right now to make $100. All the way out to January 23. Disney, in the next 2 years, Disney can easily hit 300. It's an amazing opportunity, but you have to put this into perspective. Will I take a profit on some of these as we run into some bumps in the road coming up this year? Probably. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if I go to almost all cash. Or am I going to take advantage of it, and am I going to dollar cost average some of these positions? Right now, I'm sitting on $40,000 cash in this account. I'm really cash heavy. I created this account for those of you that like to trade to follow along with me in some of my positions. I am okay being cash heavy and being ready to be able to protect or really, load up the dump truck as things start to fall. I'm excited from where we can go, but I'm realistic on the probabilities of how we're going to get there. And it's going to be a bump, rough road. Those expectations are how or why we trade. We primarily, collar trade. So even when we are wrong, we can take advantage of being wrong, right? Being wrong, which equals bearish movement in a stock position. Kevin, why don't you use puts on your leaps, on your stock replacements? Again, I went over this a couple weeks ago. It's too expensive. In relation to the cost of the stock replacement, insurance can eat up anywhere from 40 to 60% of the cost basis. You cannot be wrong there. If you are wrong there, you will most likely not be profitable. And the probabilities say you're not going to be profitable by giving up 40 to 60% of the cost basis of your stock replacement strategy. Kevin, I'm not sure about Boeing. $46 might be too expensive. Well, if it's too expensive, go short something against it. Go short a 350. Same idea. Give yourself some protection in the place. Get a $22 to $23.60 credit against the $46. Give yourself some protection. Give yourself the ability to make up something if things fall down. Be willing to cap the upside and be in a good place overall. 46, taking a $23 credit, it'd be a $23 cost basis to make 100 again. You're looking at a 300% return. Pretty darn good. What I want to try to get across tonight is having some expectations of what we're looking at. We're probably going to get a sugar rush with stimulus. But for the whole year, we will end up having tax selling in April to pay taxes combined with summer doldrums, combined with businesses most likely still not being allowed to work at full capacity. That's an expectation. That's realistic. October, worst month in market history. Number one worst month is October. Combined with, and the reason why it's October is because that's when the new federal government budget comes out, combined with new/higher tax laws. And please don't think it's just going to be a wealth tax on the uber rich. It's going to move the corporate tax from 21 to at least 28%, maybe back up to 35. The estate tax will bump from 20 to 50. Personal taxes, which are what, 28% or 29% now, will most likely go back up to 37. And you'll see a dividend or passive gains tax, which sits at 20 right now, most likely go up to 50 as well. Kevin, you seem pretty damn negative. Well, there's two ways to answer that. It's true that maybe Biden hasn't come across or won't come across with any of his campaign promises, in which case I'll be all right with that. But the way he's signing executive orders, I think he will come through with at least some of his campaign promises, and one of those was taxes. The Democrats have the power to charge and tax more right now. It's an expectation that we're just going to go back to the pre-tax, I guess the pre-Trump taxes that we had before. And to a certain degree, I'm okay with paying tax. Please don't get me wrong that I'm not willing to give a share of my earnings to the government. But damn it, I want it to be with things that are going to fix our country, things that will help our country, infrastructure. I really don't care too much about sending money overseas to other countries. I don't understand why the U.S. feels we need to grease the wheels for countries in the past that have no net benefit to the United States. If we're going to be taxed more, I want to see it help the people of this country. I want to see it help the infrastructure. I want to see it to pay down the debt. I want to see it benefit those that are paying it. Any questions on what we're looking at and why? Any questions, you guys, on what we're looking at or why? If you're looking at, if you have some cash, you want to take advantage of this bounce, some Boeing leaps, some Baidu leap bull calls would be really good. I think you can get away with Disney. Shorter term, and you're going to be sitting pretty nice. Good question. So William asked a quick question here. He goes, how far would you go out on a trade if you're going to be this short term? I think you can get by with going out 8 to 12 weeks. The bounce is there. I don't know how much is built in, but if you don't want to spend this kind of money in case that I'm wrong, and you want to go out shorter, Boeing can very easily get to 250 in the next couple weeks with a bounce. If you can't and don't want to spend that big money, go out to a May 250. It's only $10. 10 times 10, what is that? That's $100. I want to buy it though. $1,000 that you could get a pretty good bounce pretty quickly. Great question, William. If you want to go shorter term and put less money into it, great question. There you go. All right, I don't see any other questions coming across. I hope this was helpful. Are you sure? No questions from anyone else? If there are no questions, I do appreciate you being here tonight. At least you now know what I'm looking at for the next 2 to 4 weeks. And we do have another question, and that's why I'm trying to do this, to get you set up. What happens if stimulus has already been factored in, impacted Biden administration current decisions? Well, yeah, I mean, so the short answer is, and if I'm saying this right, Jim, let me know. The short answer is, what if stimulus has already been factored in so that he can wait longer to keep businesses not fully opened? Is that what you're asking there? But yeah, the short answer is stimulus has been already factored in. But I don't know how it's affecting their decisions, other than they may say, hey, they now got $1,400 more per person to pay their taxes. I know stimulus and so forth for small businesses or for unemployment runs out, what, March 14th? So now you're going to have a lot more people that are unemployed without money. But I don't think $1,400 fixes unemployment. How much can you really live off of $1,400? We need jobs. We need factories open. We need businesses open. I don't understand how, I guess, I don't know. There's no timetable yet. And if we really do have a vaccine for every person, I don't know why we're sending out stimulus. It means things should be up and running by the end of May. Mathematically, again, I'm still counting on August. I think we're in for a pretty rough summer as businesses fail to open on the expectation that's being set, or the precedent that's being set right now. Remember, we were going to lose millions of people here in the United States. We're going to have, what, 2 to 5 million people die in 6 months? I don't get it. I know Maud's going to chew me out, and you're allowed to, Maud. Just working the numbers, I still see that herd immunity coming. Maud, may I make that comment to everyone? I'm not sure I see that herd immunity or that comfort level again out to till August. Maud actually made the comment, she agreed with me. No, I'm tired of it too. I'd like to get back to work. I'd like to see businesses get to open. I would hate to see anyone die from this. I've been blessed that no family members or close friends have had a death experience with this, but I know plenty that have had that issue. So for me, on my part, it sucks to pull a kid out of her junior Olympic training. She was real excited to possibly get out to the Paris Olympics, and that is all but shut down for her. I have a boy that loves soccer that's on a state soccer team. For me, I think, I'm selfish. I get to miss my kids' sports. That's all. This hasn't been life-threatening. It hasn't been a huge issue. My family was more prepared for it, maybe. Life kind of went on the same as it always has in the Hurley household. Maud made the comment. I agree 100%. Once the majority is vaccinated, things should open. Maud, timetable. When is that? May, June, July, August? Shoot us your best guess. We won't hold it against you, but shoot us your best guess on when you think that timetable can be achieved. For those of you that don't know, Maud Piccini has been my one of my 2 doctors that I consult with before I'm allowed to open up my mouth on COVID vaccination stuff here with you guys. Any idea, Maud? Any time frame? So it's who knows. Let's hope that it happens sooner than later. Yeah, so that's good. If she had told me, well, Kevin, you dummy, it can be as early as June, I'm not sure I would have seen that, but that means we'd be opening the floodgates for vaccinations. Again, I said this last year. I'm going to say it again. The numbers don't tell us herd immunity till August. And I would probably say the end of August versus the 1st of August. So I think I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with it that our herd immunity will not be achieved until August. They are ramping up vaccinations, but again, you know, what is it? A third of the percentage of people? I know that ramping up vaccinations will lower the contagion ability for it. Herd immunity is another thing, so we'll see. Guys, I appreciate being with me here tonight. Pleasure talking to you. Now you know my mentality, what I'm looking at, what the expectation is. By March 14th, we should have a stimulus bill. We'll get a sugar rush for a couple weeks, and then it's time to protect, in all honesty, probably starting the last week in March for a tax sell-off in the next earnings event. It's just common sense understanding the cycles in the market. Guys, pleasure being with you. Have a good night, and I look forward to seeing you all Thursday morning. Bye-bye.